Howdy, me again. So this is part 2 of the other video and this time we're going to look at why I still think that there's going to be another crash coming. So basically, quick recap of the last video. We're going to see over the next few years hordes of people and lots of money FOMOing into cryptos, and most of it's going to go into Bitcoin, at least 50% of it. And if I get my big old pen, they're just going to be running into this little bottleneck, and the bottleneck will be not so much fiat gateways, which is the main bottleneck in 2017. This time around, it's going to be limited amount of Bitcoin in circulation, because as time goes on, like now, even right now, we're having big people like Mike Novogratz and others going all in on Bitcoin, and they are not letting go anytime soon. So there's definitely going to be a limited amount of circulation. And so with all of this funneling into this tiny bottleneck, this is only going to act as positive or buoyant pressure to Bitcoin prices. So going back to this question, why I still think there's another crash coming. If you were to open up TradingView and have a look at Bitcoin, so come on, anytime today. Whoops, that's Tesla. That's also on a tear. I still think that's going to come down. We type in, not Tesla, Bitcoin dollar. So at the moment we are having a bit of a sucker's rally, in my personal opinion. I mean, the trend is your friend until the bend at the end, and we're basically it's caterpillaring up this lovely trend line. And if you were to compare that with the Tether pumps, so if we type in USDT and then market cap, we can then, so have a look at this. So basically I've mentioned this in many videos before, there's a very high correlation that whenever there's a Tether pump, like here, so it went from, what is that? Sorry, let's turn this into basically, it doesn't matter. Long story short, every time there's a Tether pump, Bitcoin tends to pump a few weeks later. So we had this one here, then we had another one here, and that's taken up to 10,000, and we've had pretty big pumps very recently, and it's still pumping. So that would, I guess, show you that the market has more to go. However, yes, it may. I'm here. Video uploading, but I think it won't take long, if we just get rid of this, to see another big crash. I mean, if you just look at this area here, this is what, 2 weeks worth of work, and if you, this is a sucker's rally. I think everything's linked to stocks at the moment, so Bitcoin is highly correlated to the indices across the world, and all indices are on a bit of a stim pump. So I think when they start to roll over, Bitcoin will probably roll over as well. So I don't know, I'm not going to say how low I think it's going to go, but I mean, look at this move over here was only what, 2 weeks worth of work, and it toppled it from 10,000 back down to 4. So don't be surprised and caught with your pants down if that happens again. So that's one thing. And the other, and I guess the main reason I believe in this, and why I literally have no allocation at the moment, I'm completely out. I don't own anything. I went into Bitcoin, Ether temporarily, got out, but I am simply relying on one thing. I'm relying on bastard big boy banker greed. So you have to understand how, I guess, the markets work. So, wrong one, that's my face, hello. Okay, so let's take the average high level millionaire, centimillionaire, and also billionaire. Okay, so let's just call, let's say we're going to use a billionairess. So if we draw, and I think I've used her as an example before, this is billionaire Wendy. And Wendy has, I don't know, let's just say a net worth of $5 billion. Okay. Now, we're seeing all sorts of influential people starting to cotton on to Bitcoin and cryptos. I mean, J.K. Rowling on Twitter the other day was, what is Bitcoin, etc. And Elon Musk was answering her. So, like, as time progresses, as Bitcoin starts to march up, we're going to get a big correction of some sort. Now, let's say Wendy, the billionaire, wants to get into crypto. What she is not going to do is go to Coinbase and just pump in, 1% of her net worth into Bitcoin. So just curious, because I'm really bad at math. So 5 billion is that, divide that by 100. So yeah, 50. So she's not going to go to Coinbase, open up an account, and just plow $50 million worth into Bitcoin. So what you have to understand is that a lot of these billionaires, what they do is they operate via a thing called a family office. So family office. And a family office is a very small unit. It could be anywhere from 1 to 5 people on average, and these people are simply managing the money of Wendy. They're managing, they're protecting it, they're trying to grow it, and with all of these family offices, like I mentioned in the other video, they will have a big portion of their capital in steady eddy stuff. They'll have a little bit into more riskier things, and then they will have a bunch of high risk stuff. But right at the bottom, you're going to have this level of ultra high risk, so ultra high risk, and this is where they will take punts. They'll put 1% of Wendy's 5 billion into Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin, Ether. They'll go to the blue chips, so as in the blue chip cryptos. So they're not going to dick around and look at ICOs and looking at upcoming ones. Basically anything. I doubt they'll play with anything below the top 10 on CoinMarketCap in terms of volume. So and most of it will go to Bitcoin and Ether because they're the established ones. So what will happen is that so Wendy will say, hey, I want to go into Bitcoin, get me, a low amount, get me 1% into Bitcoin. So the family office will go, oh, okay, we need to get into Bitcoin. They are not going to open up a Coinbase or a Binance account, etc. So what happens is that the family office will simply pick up the phone or an email and go to their main dealer, and their main dealer will probably most likely be one of the big boys. It could be anywhere from Barclays, HSBC to JP Morgan, Goldman, etc. So let's just say it's JP Morgan. Okay, and they will say, hey, JP Morgan, we would like £50 million or dollars worth of Bitcoin. So $50 million of Bitcoin, please. And the price right now is 10,000. So let's say we want a bit of a discount. So we would like to see $50 million go into Bitcoin. I'd like a discount to say $9,000. Okay. And so that will be the order. That order effectively go into JP Morgan, and they go, right, we need to find $50 million worth of Bitcoin and fill it for no more than $9,000. So this is where the incentives are massively misaligned. So you have to understand big banks and big trading floors like this, like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, etc. They are all incentivized by the year-end bonus, pretty much. And the head trader on this floor, this fictional floor, will go, sweet. This is our parameters. This is basically our bowling alley bumpers. We just need to fill this worst case scenario. But obviously, they're charging a fee, commission, etc., to fulfill this trade. Okay, so they're going to make money regardless. Okay, but it's in their best interest to do a little bit more. Okay, so let's say there's a chart here, and Bitcoin is doing blah 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 blah, and at this point here, it is at 10k. So they need to get a fill round here down at the 9k level. Okay, so but that's where they won't make any profit. So it's in their best interest to go, ooh, how about we drive the market? Yeah, so basically what they want to do is buy Bitcoin lower than $9,000, because anything lower than $9,000, they make a profit. So what they'll try and do is they will put all of these big orders in together in a big sort of big bulk move. Okay, so they'll take Wendy's $50 million, they'll take other family offices, etc. So they'll probably have an order for several $1 billion worth of Bitcoin to fill at 9,000, 8,000, whatever. So what they will do is go, right, if we need to buy $1 billion or $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, we need to find $1 billion or $2 billion worth of sellers. how they're going to get the sellers. It's not like the currency market where all your trades will be filled straight away. They have to create the demand. They have to create the other side of the trade. So what they do is they'll purposely put in, probably down here, some buy orders, etc., to drive and maintain a sucker's rally, i.e. a stim pump of some sort. So it will go, they'll probably pump it to 10, 11, 12, etc. in a very short fashion, and then they will come along and start putting their massive sell orders in. So they'll be shorting it on the options market, etc., and whatever fancy derivatives they have. And their goal will be to smash it down pretty darn quickly. So let's say they smash it all the way down to, I don't know, $5,000. And that's where they put their fill in. So let's just ignore everyone else. We've got this $50 million order here. So they buy $50 million worth at $5,000. So let's get the calculator out again. So we've got 50 million, divide that by 5,000. Sweet. They've now got 10. So what they've just done is they've bought, whoopsie daisy, well, actually they can either buy all of it there or not. So this order here, this particular order will be for how many? So $50 million. So I'll just do it on my, sorry, let's make it this much simpler. So if we do 50 million, divide that by 9,000. So the order will be basically for 5,555.55 Bitcoin. Okay, so down at this 5k level, they're going to buy that. So they will buy their 555 times $5,000. So there we go. It's going to cost them roughly 27.77 million. There we go. So they will buy 27.7 whatever million. That will give them their 5,555 Bitcoin. And what is the difference? What have they pocketed? So effectively, Wendy's going to chuck over $50 million. It's only going to cost them 27.77. Whoopsie, gone right. And they're going to walk off with basically 22 million. What was that number? Yeah, just call it 22 million profit. That is the goal. So that is why. So this is why I think another crash is coming, because we've got a very gentle suckers rally in here. Because if you create a trend over a month or so, everyone goes, "Oh, Bitcoin's on the rise. It's gonna moon now," and they're relying on that extra buy side. So so that when they crash it, everyone will start selling, and that they will be buying everyone's selling when they've capitulated. So yeah, I am relying on bastard big boy banker greed, and this is how they do it. So hopefully that makes sense. This is part 2. This is all the parts all done now. So hopefully these 2 little videos will help you understand why I'm really bullish in Bitcoin, long or medium to long term, but short term I'm really bearish. Really bearish, which is why I have nothing. I don't own any Bitcoin, Ether, or anything just yet. I'm waiting. I could be wrong. Hell, we are always. There is always a probability, a certain element of you being wrong, and ultimately, when you look at being wrong, your wrongness probability or stats. The thing that makes a difference, the reason why I'm not worried if I ever am wrong, is because my risk to reward ratio is always in my favor. So for example, if you take so in trading speak, if your risk to reward ratio is 1 to 3, so your risk is 1 but your reward is 3, in trading that's basically called a 3R play. Okay, so if you have a 3R play, you can be wrong 70% of the time and still be net positive. Net positive. Okay, so I think you could be wrong 23.3% of the time and break even. So and when you're ever looking at things which are 10 to 20R, you can be wrong so many, like you could be wrong 5% of the time and still be in profit. And so crypto for me is like a 100R play, 100R plus. So yeah, I don't care if I get this call wrong or if I get in late. So let's say I've completely screwed this up and I don't get in at the right time, and you know, even if I, get my full fill in at 10,000 or 20,000, I still don't care. It's still going to be a 100R outcome. So in the long run, I'm going to win. So yeah, this is how you need to think in terms of probabilities and stats. You don't always have to get every call right, and I don't. No trader does. But it's interesting that we have even Paul Tudor Jones, the world's greatest trader, is now getting into Bitcoin, which is just insane. Anyway, hope this helps, and I will see you soon. Toodles, bye bye.